Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames. Zeke, we'll start with you. What have you been playing, sir?
What have I been playing? I finished Abduction.
Yeah. How long did that take you?
That took me,
We actually played for a good amount of time.
around 19 hours. It took me. That seems a bit high, but about 45 minutes of that, I bet was the credits.
What?
Because at the end of the game, they thank all of their
Backers?
30,000 Kickstarter backers.
Oh.
And so those credits last a long fucking time. And I make a point, if I beat a game, I let the credits roll because it seems only fair.
Yeah.
But man, those credits were fucking long.
Yeah. Danny O'Dwyer does the same stuff for his no clip videos. He thanks every backer at the end of them. They're super long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
But there was something that took a really long time in the game. There's a couple of puzzles within the game that the mechanics of them are really tedious. They're really like, okay, without spoiling anything, the puzzle, you have to go here, turn this thing, walk another 5-7 seconds, turn this thing, walk back 5-7 seconds, turn this thing, walk back, and that kind of shit. So there was a puzzle mechanic that could have been cut into like 10% of the time. It would have been 10% of the time if you could actually. And also, you see the pixelated shit.
Yeah, this just destroys streams with the bit rate that Twitch allows.
And you have to use those. You have to warp, and those take like 15 seconds each.
That sucks.
To do that, and then you have to do that in the middle of this puzzle as well. So there was a couple. I mean, there was definitely some time spent, like hour and a half spent, which could have been cut to like 15-20 minutes if you could actually just stay in one spot and figure the thing out. But I get it. I get why they do that. It's part of the environment of the thing. The scale of the thing is big, so you can't just like pick. It's not like a Rubik's Cube where you can just pick it up and like turn stuff. It's actually like it's part of the story why they have it like that and all this kind of stuff. But there was a couple of parts where I got stuck and I didn't know where to go or what to do. But once all that shit aside, it's a great game. It's a great puzzle game. If you like Myst or you like Witness or you like the Talos Principle.
Yeah.
Talos Principle or Prophecy.
Talos Principle. Yeah.
Yeah. If you like games like that, this is a game for you for sure. It's very immersive environment. If you care to read it, it's got a pretty great story because you pick up pieces of journals and stuff like that, and it tells you the basic story, or like details of the story. You'll get some of it from like pop-up FMV, like pre-rendered video sections.
Yeah.
But if you care to read, there's a lot of in-depth storytelling that goes on. And there was one big troll in the game that made me waste a lot of time because I wasn't aware that it was a troll until I had someone translate some Russian for me.
Oh. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it was a fucking cool troll. I was like, really? That's pretty cool.
Is this it? Right? No,
you're in front of this. You're in front of what seems like a puzzle, and you're like, okay, let me just do. No, I don't understand. And then someone translated Russian. I went, oh, you fuckers! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. But it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun. If you like puzzle games, this is for you for sure.
We talked about it last week, but how much is this?
This is it right here.
Oh, it is. How much is this game? Was it 30?
I believe it's $29.99 on Steam.
Okay.
Yep. And like I said, I got 20 hours out of it. So
this is the Russian bit.
No, this is the tedious bit.
Oh, the tedious bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks tedious. This type of
It
stuff would bother
totally,
the fuck.
totally is because you're like, okay, I gotta move this around and get over here and do this.
Oh, they make you go to another platform to move those inner circles?
They make you go to another world, buddy.
Dude, that I'm
Watch this.
already fucking triggered by this game, so I will never play this game.
They make you take this piece of the puzzle to a completely other world.
I mean, like,
And then you have to go to this world, rotate this puzzle piece, and then bring it back to the world.
I feel like we showed the perfect
Yep.
part of this game because
Example.
For sure.
this will be if you enjoy this shit. Oh, this game's great. If you hate this shit like I do, you'll never play this game. So,
Yeah, no, it's a puzzle game and it'll frustrate you for sure.
Yeah.
And this one's laid out in such a way where it's like, look at me, I have to walk. Now, if I went back into this puzzle again with a guide,
yeah.
it would be drastically less time. Still frustrating and tedious, but drastically less time because you can't just you make a mistake rotating something. You're like, oh, fuck. I've got to move this thing, take this piece out, put this piece in. And it takes, once you realize what you have to do, it still takes 20 minutes to get that shit done.
Jeez.
So, but that's the only
fun.
part of the game that's like that. Most of the other game is pretty okay, open up this section, new puzzle. Open up this section, where do I go now?
It looks wicked linear though. Like all these videos are just like path, click a thing, path, click a thing. Is there any explorative?
It is
to you have to look around and really think about it, or is it just like you walk down a path and then you do a puzzle, then you go to the next puzzle?
No. They're interconnected worlds that you can because I had at one time I could go to 3 different worlds that were not finished, were not the final solution of the particular planet. It's the same on each planet. They're all connected by a tree.
Crazy.
And you have to do something with this tree. The reason why I'm stuttering is I'm trying not to spoil anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to do something with this tree on every planet. And at one point I had all 3 planets open so you can go to this place, solve a little bit, go to this place, solve a little bit. That kind of stuff. But
someone just totally called me out in chat. They're like, are you really complaining about running around when you play DayZ for a living? Okay,
Shit, I mean, I was thinking it, but they said it.
Yeah, and I know, and I realized as soon as I said the words final solution, I knew it. I was like, fuck, why'd I put those 2 words together? That's so stupid.
I heard final and I was like, don't say it. Oh, you said it.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It was a misstep in words, but like I said, I would recommend the game. Once you go into it, or however you describe it, it's exactly that. So you'd like it if you like it. You like that kind of shit for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. What was on Indie Monday? Indie Monday this week, because you.
Yeah, I skipped Indie Sunday because I was vegging out watching AGDQ.
Look, I've been guilty of that as well. At about midnight or 1 a.m., I'm just kind of like, I'm fucking done with the day. I'm just going to watch AGDQ. So I understand.
Yep.
But let's talk about Indie Monday. What did you play? We'll start off with this.
I started off with Don't Chat with Strangers.
It looks like it.
Yes.
You're chatting with a stranger.
Yep. Don't chat with strangers.
Okay.
Now, the best way I can describe this game is, have you ever played Don't Touch Anything? Don't Touch Anything is a game where you're just set in front of a box with a red button.
Nope.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't played
It's
it.
sort of a procedural puzzle game, meaning like you have to find the right procedure to find all these different things that happen. In
Sounds
this
like some
game,
shit Peter Molyneux would make.
True.
in this game, your computer, there's things to interact with. You got a computer, you got a phone, you got your a lamp, radio, you got a cross on the wall, you got a window, you got a furnace, you got a bed. These are things you can interact with. And your computer, you are online with Lucy1 is her screen name, and you chat with her. Then you pick this thing, and she says, "Okay, I like you. Would you like to play Buttons with me?" And Buttons is just a game where you press a button with her, and different results happen. Like if you
I played that game with a girl.
yeah, we're gonna play this game. If you beat her, something different happens. If you lose, something different happens. If you tie, something different happens. If you just crush her, like you beat her 100-20. I'll spoil this one. She's like, if you beat her 100-20 in buttons, she calls you a tryhard and then disconnects.
Why is there a cross forming in your room?
That's one of the procedural things. Like if you do something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
And if you beat her too many times, she hangs herself in your room.
No, that's him.
No, that's you.
Oh,
you
rude.
die frequently in this game. And then you have to start over.
I think we should just stop there and let people experience why you're dead.
Just
Yep.
let that sink in.
No, that's part of the fun is figuring out, like finding out what, like all the different paths you can take and what happens, the result of those paths. Very cheap game, $4.50. I played it for like 3 or 4 hours, something like that. And there are certain times when you come up against, well, like what is the next thing that I do? I don't understand. And then once you find that one little thing that you do different, you're like, oh, fuck it. It opens up another path of things, of different choices to do.
It reminds me of that game. I don't know what the game was called. I think it was one of your indie game days. I swear to God, I watched you for after about 10 seconds, you got punched in the balls. And then I went to do something else and I came back and you were talking to someone else and then they punched you in the balls. And then I went and did something else and I came back and you were talking to another person and another guy, you got punched in the balls. I'm like, what is this game?
That wasn't IRL?
No, that was Tex Murphy.
It was so random.
Okay.
It was hilarious though.
Yeah.
You were just like talking shit to some woman and she like punches you in the balls.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a Tex Murphy game.
That was great.
What
and then I played Tattletale.
Is that what this is?
Yes.
Okay.
This is me making a joke. Oh, and the reason why I'm not on camera is because I'm
giving that little kid voice.
Oh, okay. We found a great part right here.
Play a little kid on the day before Christmas.
I like that little thing, the little Furby wannabe.
Oh, you won't like it. This is a suspense game.
Oh,
Is it like Five Nights at Freddy's kind of shit?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
That's a good assumption.
I know there's a jump scare coming up, by the way. That's why I chose this particular thing. But yeah, is it any good? Did you enjoy your time with it?
I had fun. I had fun. It's relatively short, but it's only $5. It's really well done for how short it is.
Yeah.
It has a good tone as far as suspense. Like you have to, in order to have a flashlight, it's one of those ones that you have to shake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to shake the flashlight to charge it up, and that makes noise, and you don't want to make noise. Like that megaphone shows up when you're making noise. So if you're running, if you're shaking the flashlight and stuff like that, it makes noise, but you don't want to make noise because something happens. And basically, you have to and there you go. The lights go out.
What the? So are your parents like serial killers? What the fuck? Why are you hiding from them? Did I just spoil the story?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I just want to see what happens if Mama or finds you. Oh my God! Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so Five Nights.
Was
Jesus.
that the Furby?
Very much so. What's that?
Was that the Furby thing that you put downstairs?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
No, the reason why I'm not saying that anything is because it's a relatively short game. Like it doesn't take super long to get to the end of the game.
Okay. Right.
But for $5, it was definitely worth it. I had fun playing it. There's definitely jump scares involved, and it has some creepy creepy kid stuff like
sure.
Yeah, like toys that come alive and that kind of shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next game I am super excited to talk to you about because I've heard way too much about this fucking game. I've never played it myself, and I want you to try to explain it to me. Frog Factions 1, not 2. What in the... why is this game like so highly regarded as a treasure of games? I hear so many positive experiences with this game, but I have no idea why.
It's because it's absurd. It's an absurd. It's a exercise in absurdist game development and gameplay and that kind of stuff. fractions have nothing to do with anything for the most part.
Yeah.
They just appear on screen. It's more like and I think it's because it's kind of difficult to explain. I didn't know what to expect. I knew to expect something a little weird, but it delves deep in some weird shit. It takes like sharp right turns from where you think it's going. It's like, oh, it's got a pretty funky sense of humor. You're doing this, and then it goes, and it's like, oh, completely different game now.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
All right. And it's got like a ridiculous sense of humor, and God, it's kind of difficult to explain. Best part about it's free. You can just play it. It's free. You just Google Frog Fractions. You can just play it. It's great. Yeah, it's a little bit like Pony Island.
Okay.
Like the feel of Pony Island, where it's fourth wall breaking. There's no set rules at all. There's no set rules. Like there's rules within the particular section you're in, but there's no rules as to where the game will go from here. It looks like one thing, and then it goes, nope, and there you go. It's something.
No, I just wanted to flash forward to show everyone the game does some fucking wonky shit. I've read all this stuff, never played it though.
Yeah, and it was a fun game. It's absolutely free. The sense of humor is just ridiculous. You find yourself going, what the fuck is going on here? Like in this particular section, you're listening to, I believe he's an English guy. I believe that accent, I think, and he's talking about boxing.
Are you going to play Frog Factions 2?
Frog Fractions 2, I believe, is hidden in another game, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It was just found out over Christmas.
Yeah, I have it. I have that game. I have. It's called Glitter Mitten Grove.
Yeah,
I have that game.
Yeah, but that was like a huge, like what is it, ARG or whatever, where like the developer basically said like Frog Fractions 2 is out there, but I'm not gonna tell you where it's at. And then everyone was like, where the fuck is this game? Blah, blah, blah. And they eventually found it in Glitterman Grove or whatever. Is that the name of it? Yeah.
What do you mean there's a game in a game? It's like an Easter egg kind of thing? Like you find
yeah, kind of. Like you basically have to go and I think you get a shovel and you just keep digging down and then it loads into the second game.
Okay.
Like it's really fucking crazy, but there was a community that like there was discords and everything that were trying to find it nonstop, and then they eventually found it. And
well, just playing random games, or did they know it was in that game?
Yeah, they would go and look at random games on Steam and try to find it. Yeah, that's why I follow it. It's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
It's buried in a game about a fairy village, where they like a village of fairies in the forest, like build things and try and survive the winter and stuff, and it's buried in that game.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
That's cool. I like stuff like that.
There is also, you'll enjoy this. You can import your Mass Effect 1 save into the game, and it'll alter things within the game. So he does some really fucking odd shit with it.
You can import your Mass Effect 1 save game into Frog Fractions 2?
Yes. Like he does for really absurd shit. So,
dude, I met the guy. Who one of the creators of Frog Fractions.
Oh, sorry, Mass Effect 2 save. Sorry, I thought it was Mass Effect 1. Yeah. If you're interested in finding more and hearing from him, Giant Bomb did an interview with him, a podcast a couple weeks back. So they talked with the developer about all this crazy fucking bullshit that Zeke played through that I'm still watching for some reason. Because I want to see what happens next. How long did it take you to play the first one?
I want to say around 2 hours, maybe less. These are the credits.
What?
Yeah, I know. Draggy Ceiling Eater as himself.
Great. I've shown too much.
It's fucking great, man. Try it. It's free. Try it. It's free. Okay. And don't give up. Don't give up. Because they'll try and the funny thing is the game kind of tries to stop you. Because when I'll just let you know, when you're doing the frog part, which is the very first part, you gain, like, after doing levels, you get fruit, which you use to buy upgrades for your frog. And one of the first upgrades you get is a lock on, which is fucking awesome because you're just shooting your tongue out normally. When the lock on, you just like lock. And then the next upgrade is remove lock on. And you're like, fuck that. You play again. You're like, no, I don't want any upgrades this time. And it won't move on until you buy the fucking shitty upgrade. Like the downgrade, I mean.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad someone played that game on the cast because there was a ton of conversation about it, and I had no idea how to actually handle the conversation because I had never played the actual games. But I also saw that was the end of Indie Monday, right? I didn't see any other games on the report.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah, I saw you.
I'm honestly like now that I'm just waiting for Resident Evil 7 to come out.
Yeah.
So I'm making a serious, honest try to beat Darkest Dungeon.
You haven't beaten it yet?
No, never beaten it.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, okay.
No, I pick it up, play it for hours, and then drop it. And I do that with a lot of games. I've done that with so many games. I bet there's at least 50 games out there that I played all the way to the last level and never beaten them.
Okay. How's your?
And I think it's something idiosyncratic in me that's like, I don't want the game to be over.
Yeah, I understand
or something like that. But now I'm making an honest try. I'm doing my best. I'm not doing any meme runs. I'm not doing like no torches or anything like that. I'm actually like making the group that I can do the best with and that kind of stuff. So,
how's this run going? Pretty good so far.
Oh, it's been very good. Lucky, no deaths yet. But I'm up to the first boss now. I'm gonna face the first boss after that. I'm actually gonna broadcast after this. So
there you go. There you go. Check him out.
The taco is for Taco Tuesday. May his eyes shine upon us.
Yeah, obviously. Duh. Sacriel, you want to talk about some escape from Tarkov for a bit?
Sure, yeah.
Am I saying it's Tarkov, right?
Tarkov, yeah.
Okay. I always, for some reason, think that I'm saying that wrong.
A lot of people say Tarkov. Like I've seen a few people refer to it with all sorts of weird names, but it's just
that's not the name at all. It's Tarkov.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't just add vowels. But yeah, I'm one of the lucky people that for some reason was allowed to stream the game. They did a really weird launch, like where a few people are allowed to stream it, but most people aren't. And I find that the whole interaction with the developer was confusing from the start. Like they had some kind of access. They've had access for a while, but they had absolutely no interest in content creators or media. They're just like, no, we're just going to let random people play the game. But then just recently, they allowed a few people to play it, and we were lucky enough to be one of them. And yeah, it's super weird. A lot of people immediately say to me like, "Hey, Sacriel, is it like DayZ? Is it the DayZ we wanted?"
Right.
Let's just get that question out of the way immediately. Absolutely not. It's nothing like DayZ. So DayZ is a sandbox PvP game where you join a server, you start with nothing, and whatever you get, if you die, you lose. That's it. Tarkov is very much more like The Division, where you have an account and a kind of a base and a stash, and you've got all this stuff, and you can go into missions and take stuff from your stash, and depending on the mission, you may or may not lose it if you die. And there's AI. Like with weapons, like snipers and shotguns and pistols, whatever. So it's nothing like DayZ. A lot of people want. If you watch the first video they ever released, it looked very DayZ, sneaking around in the wilderness in Russia, looting through barns and stuff, and you put a weapon together, and then you get in a firefight, and everyone thinks,
yeah, I totally thought they were trying to compete against DayZ with this when I first saw it.
I get that 100 times an hour when I'm playing this game, but it's nothing at all like DayZ. So the way I think of it is like it's like if DayZ and The Division had a child. It's kind of like that. So it's really hard to say. I've got really mixed opinions on it. First of all, it does several things extremely well. So it does gunplay exceptionally well. It feels great. It's they've got some absolutely innovative features that I've never seen before. So for example, like your accuracy with the weapon is based on if you're moving, is based on the speed you're moving. But most games just have like walking or sprinting, and then crouch walking or crouch sprinting, whatever. In this game, your mouse wheel can move up and down, and you've got like 16 or 20 different speeds that you can move. So in the bottom left corner, there's a picture of a guy, like your character. There are 7 heights you can be at, and there are like 20 speeds you can be at. So as you're moving along,
Holy shit.
like if you got your mouse wheel on like full up mode, like you set like speed 20, I don't know what the number is, but let's say there's 20. You press forward, you'll kind of jog. But if you scroll down, you'll slow down to a walk, and then you're more quiet and you have a more stable firearm. And you can move it all the way down to 1 or 0, and it's like you're just taking each careful step inch by inch, and you're super accurate with your pistol, and you make almost no sound. So it's really cool how you can scale it. And there's a few toggle keys, so you can switch from, you can press sprint and immediately go to full, or you can press walk and immediately go to 0. So wherever you are in that scale, you don't have to go, I need to be quiet now, mouse wheel down. So it's got some really cool features in it. It's got some really innovative gameplay mechanics, I guess. So the weapons are hyper modular. So each weapon, like some of the higher level weapons, like AKs and M4s and stuff, have like 20 different modules to them. So you've got the barrel, the upper, the magazine, the buttstock, the front grip. I made a predator assault rifle where I put 3 rails on the front of my gun, and I put a laser sight on the top side and both sides of my rail on my M4. And when I pressed the toggle like lights on, it went, those 3 dots. I was like, okay, that's super cool. It's crazy modular, but that also is a problem because when you're gearing up in the game, for example, I played 45 hours of it on stream, 40-ish hours of it on stream.
Damn.
I still haven't found enough components to make one gun. I found like 50 rails for an AK. I found like 12 scopes for an M4. I found like 3 barrels for a shotgun. But there's so many individual things you get. Like you find a buttstock for an M4, you're like, oh, cool, buttstock. And then it's like, oh, you don't have the correct bolt to connect it to this. And you're like, oh, come on, and you have to go and get the bolts. You have to get so many individual things. It's kind of a bit overwhelming, even as a bit of a gun nut like me. It's really overwhelming. Like there's almost too much stuff you can do. But the gunplay is fantastic. The sound is really, really, really good. Like you can hear the footstep. I used to be a sound whore in COD 4. Like I'd walk around and I'd hear a footstep. I'd be like, okay, metal footsteps, then wood, then metal. Oh, he's over there, and I'd shoot through a wall with a deagle and kill someone. And you can sound whore like crazy in this. But they did some things to balance it. So, for example, if you're like camping a room and there's 2 doors to the room and you hear a footstep and you have to turn to face the other door, you make a sound of your feet shuffling. So people will hear that and go, oh shit, someone's in that room. So they've kind of balanced out the sound whoring by, even if you're being super slow, if you turn more than 30 degrees, you'll hear the feet shuffle. And depending on the material, like it makes a much different sound. Like on carpet, you really hear it. And on gravel, you can hear it. But on metal, you can't hear it so much. Really cool sound system. Amazing animation system in the game. So all the weapons can like jam and malfunction. And there's 2, as far as I understand it, there are 2 different types of malfunction. You get a chamber malfunction, where the shell being ejected is jammed, and you get a magazine malfunction. And you have a different key to check it. So you can actually press a key and it'll turn the pistol over and pull the slide back and look in the chamber. And if there's a jammed round, he'll actually do a custom animation and like hit the round out and then cycle the next round in.
Wow.
And you can take the magazine out and look in the magazine and check for like if sometimes like a round will drop out the grip and stuff. So they've done like super, super cool simulated stuff, which is really cool.
So I guess my next question is, who is this for then? Like who do you say, what group of gamers do you say this is for? Because it's not for DayZ people, but it was kind of marketed towards DayZ people.
Yeah.
So,
Also, real quick, as a follow-up to his, are they ever going to do an open world kind of thing? Yes. Or is this everything?
No. So what we're seeing is a super limited alpha where you have access to 3 of, I think, like 10 or 12 maps. And because there aren't all the mechanics built into the game, because there are multiple factions that you can go into around as I understand it, you can go in as one faction that's just like, I'm just a scavenger, and you spawn in with shitty gear, and if you die, it doesn't matter. But if you kill someone and take their gun and sneak out, you can take it with you. Whereas you can spawn in as like a militia dude where you can choose your gear before you go in. So you're like, okay, helmet, night vision, goggles, chest rig that covers my neck and arms, sniper rifle, pistol in my backpack, medical gear, all this, and you're basically like a badass. But if you die, you lose all that stuff. But the problem is that system isn't developed yet. So at the moment, everyone spawns in as the kind of militia badass, and the other faction is made up of AI. And that makes it really difficult to play because you go into this round where it's like, it's kind of at the moment, it's almost like a round-based game where like 6 to 10 players spawn in a map, and then a bunch of AI spawns in the map as well. And the whole point, the name is Escape from Tarkov. So you actually have to, if you wanted, you could just run straight to an exit, open the door and get out. and you get a bit of XP. If you kill a few people on the way to that door, you get more XP. If you kill a dude and take all his gear, and you're like, okay, put his rifle in my backpack, and I didn't have a Kevlar vest, but he had one, so I'm going to put that on. You can like leave the map with more than you went in. So it's this kind of cool, interesting meta. The problem with the alpha access that we have as streamers is there's still AI in those maps. So you spawn in, and I might go in with $500,000 worth of gear, night vision, sniper rifle, pistols, backup assault rifle, everything. And an AI walks past a window and does a 180 and goes, bang, headshot, and kills you in one shot. And then some other player can walk up and take your gear and leave. And you're just like, oh, that's a really disengaging experience. And what happens is you get this kind of stale meta, which I experienced through 90% of the game, where 50% of the people that go in the game just have a knife and some pajamas on, and they just charge around the map and just try and stab you in the face and take your gear. And if they die, they never lost anything. And then the other 50% of people, or 90% of people, 40% of people, have like the default shotgun. So the way it works at the moment is you can go against PvP or you can go against PvE. And if you do PvE, you can't lose anything. So you can go into the PvE round, kill all the AI, take all their shotguns, and then go and play PvP with their shotguns. So half the people just have knives, and the other half of people just have shotguns. So there's this really stale meta of basically, as you can see in the video you're seeing now, I'm just using a shotgun because everyone's using a shotgun, and there's no incentive. That shotgun costs 15 grand or something if you buy it. There's no incentive to take a 200 grand sniper rifle into a round where half the people have a knife and the other half of people have a free shotgun effectively, and they can kill you in one hit. So it's this kind of awkward meta where it discourages people from playing. But the question about open world is, as I understand it, in the end game, once you've done all the missions and the raids and like kind of like the missions in Division where you go in and you fight AI and you kill a boss and you get some gear, there will be some kind of open world area where you can just spawn in with whatever you dare take, and you can leave at any time by going to an exit, and you fight exclusively other players. And that'll be interesting for people like me, where you get to sneak in and actually go, I'm going to snipe from this position. I'll sneak up and, oh my God, this guy's got a ray gun. I'm going to get out of the map quickly and put that in my stash and come back in. That's kind of cool. But the current build is really repetitive on these few maps and these very limited weapons at the moment. There's a few other prohibitive things. The economy is really complicated. So say you go looting and you find a bunch of stuff. If you want to sell that, the vendors are actually server-side NPCs that everyone sells to, and they have a finite amount of money that resets every hour. So sometimes you're like, oh, I got some rifle magazines I want to sell. I'll sell it to the rifle guy. And you go there, and he's like, I've got no money, and you have to wait 50 minutes for him to get his money back to be able to sell your stuff. And the other problem is, there's only one guy sells armor, and he only has a finite amount of it, because it refreshes once an hour. So someone will just go and buy all the armor instantly the second it refreshes, and say you're in a round at that time, you can't get to the vendor. And then you come out, you're like, oh God, I need armor, and you can't buy it. So then
that's like the devs taking ultimate control of their economy.
It's crazy.
They
Really crazy.
Exactly how many dollars is in the game and what armor and everything.
Yeah.
It ruins the meta because you can't go and play because you don't have armor and they do. So it's another reason not to take any expensive weapons into the game. So there's just so many compounding factors that kind of make the PvP metagame really awkward. Like everyone's got a shotgun, so you shouldn't use expensive weapons. One guy has all the armor because no one else could buy it. So then that's another reason not to take any good weapons. And it kind of gets this weird stale metagame. There's some other weird stuff with the NPCs as well. Like one of the NPCs is called Fencer, like a fencer sells stolen goods or whatever.
Right.
He will almost only buy items from you. Sorry, sell items to you if you give him obscure items. So you're like, oh, can I have that suppressor? And he's like, okay, bring me 600 tubs of Vaseline. Like, I don't know what this guy's doing in his personal life. But like,
hold on, you can find Vaseline?
It's a medical item in the game. So when you're bleeding and stuff, you apply it, and it like removes wounds and stuff. But the problem is, like, you have this game suffers from like it's a really cool Diablo style inventory where you can rotate things and you have to slot things into your inventory in a clever way. But when you're out of a round, you have this stash, and it's like 500 blocks of inventory, and it's just pages of inventory.
Right.
And this guy's like, hey, I will sell you a suppressor if you get me 40 figurines. And each figurine takes up 2 slots, and they don't stack. So you have to use a quarter of your inventory of saving up these really irritating items just to buy one suppressor. And if you buy the other type of suppressor from him, you can just pay money, and money stacks in 50,000 blocks. So there's like this really weird, like, I don't know who the hell designed some of these things. There's some really weird things where you think, Jesus, so like someone didn't think this through properly, because it's a bit kind of prohibitive. But overall, gunplay incredible, graphics incredible, animations and everything really super cool. The movement system super cool. I'm looking forward to the open world side of it. I'm looking forward to the pure PvP. If there was no AI in the PvP, I would play this game every day, all day. At the moment, but at the moment, when you'll see an AI at 50 meters away, walking away from you, and all of a sudden, in a single frame, they'll do a 180 and you're dead instantly. And you're like, okay, I lost all my gear. And it's just such an underwhelming feeling to know that, you know, if that was a player, cool. But if it's an AI, I don't want to be discouraged from taking in the guns.
You already have to deal with hackers as a streamer, so now there's actual
yeah, exactly.
by the developer hacking.
Yeah,
or you say
no, I'm extremely intrigued to watch more of this gameplay, but I am completely turned off to try it.
It looks really slow.
Because of what?
No. It's because it seems like there is no room for casuals.
Oh yeah, it's super try hard.
Okay.
Most of the streamers I've seen play it, they're like, oh cool, an M4, and they click play and they go into a round and they're like, okay, let's go. Open the door, punk, dead, and they've lost the M4. And it's like, I couldn't imagine like a fairly casual player playing this. It seems super grindy in the current economy of the game. Super grindy. Like you have to sell like 150 components you've looted to buy one weapon. Like it's you couldn't go into a round and come out with loads of weapons unless you kill a bunch of players with loads of weapons, and everyone's discouraged from bringing weapons. So it's a really awkward meta. But we're so early in the game that who knows? Maybe by the time it comes into beta, there's going to be no AI, things will cost an appropriate amount, items will stack in the inventory, and all these kind of issues will go away. And you'll actually find it to be, like, I would love to see, like, you know, me, Summit, Lyric, a bunch of, like, FPS-style streamers all going into a round stacked with gear, and then it's super tense like DayZ. In DayZ, if you die and you've been playing for 6 hours, you lose 6 hours worth of loot. And in this, you might go in super stacked, and all it takes is a headshot and you lose it. So it's going to be super tense. So I think it could make a really fun streaming game. But like Zeke said, there's almost no reason at all for a casual that's not going to sit there and on Excel typing in, oh, if I had this suppressor, what does the dispersion do? Which suppressor is best for this weapon? Which bolt goes with this stock when it goes with this scope?
Yeah.
Like real number cruncher, try hard FPS people, which are a category that I fall into. But again, that's only based on this really limited alpha. Maybe in the end, the prices of the items and their rarity will loosen up a bit so that it gets to the point that you can go in fully stacked and die and not be like, oh, fuck, I have to play for 3 hours to replace that gear.
Can you still buy? We were talking about it last week with Bike Man a little bit. Can you still buy into it for like $150 or something like that, or did they take that down?
As far as I'm aware, you can still buy into it. But you're under an NDA, so you can't stream it or anything. But you can get access. They did a really weird thing. Like, there's different tiers of game you can buy into, and they have a different percentage chance of access. So you buy one pre-order, and it's like 50% chance of access. And that's the first game I've ever heard of doing like a percentage chance.
That's really shitty. What the fuck?
And they're like, tough shit.
That's basically gambling.
Yeah. I'd be furious.
Really,
what the fuck?
Yeah, really strange. And then there's like another package that's 75% or something.
What the fuck?
The release for this was definitely bumpy. The Reverb game representative thought they understood what was going on, and like, because right when this game came out, of course, me and many streamers were like, whoa, how do we play? Like, this is awesome. Who do we talk to? Just like whenever a new game pops up on Twitch.
Sure.
A little percent gets in, the rest want to get in. So I found the person to talk to, and I was like, okay, how do I get in? What do we do? And they were like, oh, well, we're really sorry. We don't have any more keys, but as soon as after the new year, we'll let you know what's going on, and we'll do that. And then on the 10th, after not hearing anything for like almost 2 weeks, I messaged them back and I'm like, hey, so about those keys. And they just straight up said, oh, yeah, turns out we're going to wait until open beta.
I personally think they probably watched the feedback from a few streamers. There's a few streamers that are touting it. Like, there's one particular asshole that playing it that has to play it because he's trying to get a lot of exposure. So he's like, this is super cool, guys, super cool. And he's literally just doing the same dreary things for like 8 hours a day. Whereas I'm very much more honest about it and go, hey guys, here's some empirical information about what I'm doing. This is how this works. This is how the economy works. This is how the weapons work. And here's the reason that I'm not going to play a great deal of this game. So I think they're trying to limit the media exposure, because if like you all, like say you all guys played it, that's an extra 10,000 people playing this game, 10,000 viewers watching it. And if you came to the same conclusions I did, that's 10,000 people that might be like, I might not buy this. So maybe they're waiting for beta. I think the game has got great hope. The PvP, the gunplay, It's super fun. Like I just I just shot that guy straight through the face. You see the blood spat in the background, and I can go and loot him. Like it's super cool.
It looks like so slow to me, like so fucking slow.
But JP,
I'm super tryhard.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. What game does this remind you of, JP? That you play and enjoy?
Watching paint dry.
No.
What what do I play in?
Dude, there's no question this has a slight feel of Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six.
Like the real slow creeping, listening to other people, you know.
I think we play Rainbow Six differently.
Maybe so. But no, I see this and I'm going like, when this is done and when there's like an actual long-term progression, you can spend, 50 plus hours playing this game and there's still a lot to do. Like this looks like a really fun game. Just kind of go in and spend a few hours in. I mean, it looks pretty awesome for that. And I caught a few Sacro streams. Like there were some really awesome clips that came out of Sacro playing this. There were a few that were just crazy gunplay moments, and shit's going wild. And every time a gun flashes, like it lights up the entire room, and then you see like all these other people rushing and firing. Sacro's turning around and flipping out and hiding behind stuff, and his gun jams. And I mean, there's some really cool moments in this game that you just can't really get in other games. So
yeah,
there's this really cinematic moment where I was at like a T-junction and I could hear footsteps and I couldn't tell which side they were of me. So I was like, I think there's someone down here, guys. And I ran down these stairs and I turned left and it wasn't there. And the next thing I see is my silhouette, my shadow on a wall and a circle around me. And the guy behind me with a shotgun just toggled on the flashlight to like take the piss because I turned the wrong way. So I just saw myself, my shadow. And I just turned around and there's just this glaring light in my face and this guy just fucking takes my head off with a shotgun.
That's
and I was
pretty cool.
like, that's super cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
But yeah, what you're seeing here is me when I was learning the game, I was being really try hard and tactical. But now when I say I went and played it now, I'm a lot more aggressive. Like I'll sprint, like I'll just sprint across the map. And then once I hear something, I'll just dart into a corner and then I'll go slow and I'll peek and I'll kill a guy and then I'll sprint. So don't take it, the whole game isn't that slow. And I'm literally going at like setting 1 out of 20 speeds. So what you're seeing there is me being super tactical. Towards the end, I was like bolting around and sliding and leaning, and it's a lot more action orientated.
Okay.
When you say grindy, what are you grinding?
Gear. So let's say you spawn with, let's say for argument's sake, you spawn with 10 guns and you play 10 PvP rounds, and each round you die. You lose all your guns. So then you need to go and find or build new guns. So it's like open a box. Okay, I've got a stock for a gun. Okay, open another box. I've got a butt stock for another gun. Okay, open another box. I've got a barrel for another gun. And each gun takes like 15 components to put together.
Sure.
So you have to find like all these, you have to grind missions over and over and over again to find all these individual components to eventually put together a gun. And let's say that takes an hour, and then you go in a PvP match, dead, you've lost that gun.
That's
so then you have to grind all the items that you dare go into a game with.
When you say missions, that's completely all AI.
It's up to you. You can do PvP missions, or you can do at the moment you can do PvE missions. Yeah. So you'll against AI, and if you die, you lose nothing.
How does a round end for you if you besides dying?
You escape from the map. So you spawn at A, and there's B, C, D, E, and 5 other exits, and between you and those exits is a variety of AI, and in like areas you can loot. So you might go into like a hotel and you like kick the door down in the reception, and then you open a cabinet and you take a key out, and it's like, this key is for room 615, and then you go up to the 6th floor and you find that room and you open it and you go in, and there's some cool gear, and then you have to kill some AI on the way there, and then once you've got that gear, you have to try to sneak out of the map to take it home with you.
Okay.
So it's literally like little looting missions, and those, I think you'll be able to do those with friends. So like say us four, if we all had the game, we could be like, hey, let's do a airfield run or whatever, and all 4 of us would spawn in as teammates and we'd fight the AI, and then we'd all be looting, and then at the end we could be like, hey, have you got a scope for that gun? Okay, I've got this, and we could trade gear and build guns and stuff.
Okay. And then you take those guns that you earn from the mission, and you can take them into whatever you want to do next.
You could choose to do PvP, but then if you die, someone could just pick that up and chuck it in the bag and like, cheers, mate, and they've just done you over.
So you could feasibly not even grind. You could just grind other players.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I did. Like, I'd go in with a pistol, and I'd see a guy with an assault rifle, and I'd just shoot him in the head and be like, cheers.
Here's the clip you were talking about, Sacro, with the flashlight and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That is pretty cool.
That was awesome.
It's pretty good, yeah.
What?
Wow. I got styled on so hard.
Yeah.
That was so
we'll watch it again. That is pretty cool how he turns that on. You can see your shadow straight off the bat, and then you're just like, fuck. I like that.
There's a little set of like,
Hey, what's up, bud?
yeah,
Hey, guy.
yeah.
What's crazy, actually, they've got this really odd system where you can taunt other players. So if you can't figure out where the other position is, where the other player's position is, you press a taunt and you're like, hey, asshole. And then the other character's like, hey, fuck you, I know you're out of ammo. And they press it again. They're like, you damn Rusky, I'm gonna kick your ass. And they start arguing. And it is really, really weird. Like, you can literally be like, I wonder where that guy is. And you just start shouting abuse and they shout back and you can figure out where their position is. Really, really bizarre system.
now wait. You can force them to say something to you?
Yeah. I was pinning the guy down and I was like, God damn it, where is he? And then his guy was shouting shit and my guy was replying like, I'm gonna fuck you up, dude. I know you're out of ammo up there. And I was like, what's my guy doing? Shut up. And he was like, it's really weird.
That's cool, but I could see that also being like unbelievably fucking annoying.
Wait a minute, you don't control those?
No, it just happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one person would have to start the taunt, I'm assuming, and then
Yeah,
the other
he
people would
shouted at me,
automatically
and I was aiming at him, and my guy was shouting back, and then he'd shout something back, and my guy was
Can
shouting
you
back.
imagine like
So that could be a tool for you. That could be a tool like you go into
absolutely.
like a room or a building and you shout something,
Yeah.
then they have to shout back.
Now,
Yeah.
Sacco,
And you got-
I gotta ask here, did you try like walking through a level and shouting taunts? And
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm gonna say. Like,
so you walk up to the corner of a room and you don't know if someone's camping it, and you just shout a taunt in and hear if there's a reply?
Yeah, that's something I learned of that mechanic is something I learned in my last stream just before I finished playing, so I never got to do it. But I never.
I mean, imagine
dude.
like imagine
Some
stream
dude in the business
snipers.
walking through the level shouting obscenities.
Yeah.
You're terrible. You suck.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Imagine stream snipers just fucking doing that in like an actual game where people are tryharding, and then you just have like Bob01 with his knife. Hey, fuck all you!
Pretty much.
And everyone's screaming, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!" Like, it'd be funny, but it's also like incredibly frustrating.
Some dude sneaks up right next to someone on stream and starts taunting him like 2 feet from him, and everyone else in the level's just like,
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see like a warehouse full of people that are crouched and hiding, and this guy runs in naked with a knife. Fuck you! And like 20 guys like pop up at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
It just kind of struck me as really unusual because like you're there, you got your night vision on, you're like your Sam Fisher from Tom Clancy game, suppressed pistol and everything. You're sneaking around like James Bond, and someone shouts, "Fuck you!" and you're like, "Fuck you, buddy!" It's so out of character to just like shout back abuse. And they
I
say
just
like,
want to get 8 guys in a room with no guns, just yelling taunts at each other.
Just to
was-
see what the
my-
responses are. Yeah.
my face was the picture when it happened to me because I was like looking around like, who's shouting this shit? And I realized it was my guy. And then like my guy was like American and the other guy was Russian. So my guy's, "You Rusky bastard, I know you're out of ammo." And they just shout Russian shit. So like Sika, billiard and all that. And I was like, oh, he's swearing at me. And then I shot him in the head.
Jeez.
Super weird. But the game's got tons of potential.
Yeah, like
Really, really
hearing you talk about it, like I'm on the fence just like you are now. Because all of that sounds great, but part of the reason that I don't play DayZ, and I think a lot of people don't play DayZ anymore, is because it's like you walk around for a very long time, but then there's a minute of interaction that is really fucking awesome, and then you die and you have to redo it all over again.
But this game's different. There's no 2-hour period before you hear a person, and you don't die when you walk downstairs.
Well, I mean that's very true about the not having the bugs at least. But
Well,
I
and
just
also,
watched you for
I
30 minutes walk around with a pistol, and it was very like it's still there in essence, but it's different.
Something kind of important to point out here, JP, is also in the current setup, and even from the sounds of it when they do the open world or whatever it is, these maps are a fraction of DayZ's maps.
That's very true.
So, like, if there's another player, you're immediately going to have a higher chance of meeting someone than if you were playing DayZ, because just the size of the maps. Oh, please go ahead.
That map I was playing there, factory, you spawn in, and within a second, you can hear people around you. So it's like you all spawn in different rooms in a factory. And then everyone within 10 seconds, you can hear gunshots and it's all going down. But then there are other maps. There's a map called Customs, which is like pretty huge. And that's actually sneaking around in the wilderness, out in the woods. And you come into a hotel and it's got like literally like 100 different rooms that you can loot. And then, but everyone's drawn to that because it's a loot area. So you get these kind of big maps, but they have polarizing areas where it's like you have to go there to even get a gun that made it worth your while to even play this mission. So you can kind of, if you want that fast and furious thing, that's why when I play it, I just play that factory map because you spawn in, you open a door, you peek out, and there's a guy there already every time. Whereas in DayZ, like I say, you've got like 6 hours to before you hear that first gunshot, and it's like a bit demoralizing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a little bit different than what I was thinking. So that's cool. For streaming purposes, that would be a lot better, obviously, because you just jump in and you're in, right? Like you're already seeing other players.
But you also get that tense situation in like the DayZ tenseness.
Yeah.
Tense. I don't know what the word is. Where because you spawned in with all this rare gear, you're like, oh god, don't die. When the first bullet goes off your cover, you're like, Jesus Christ, and immediately your heart's pounding. Whereas in DayZ, to get that feeling, you have to have something worth losing, which means you have to have played for hours. So you can kind of step into a round and be immediately on edge, which was going to make it really good for streamers to watch, like viewers to watch, because they're like, oh my god, he's got a sniper rifle. No one takes a sniper rifle in. That's 300 grand.
Yeah.
And then you're sneaking around, and it's like, oh my god, is he going to lose it? I lost my first sniper rifle, by the way, by falling through the ground. I was just walking along, and then poof.
Well, it sounds like the stairs are still in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you weren't going up the stairs.
Like
The 2-foot drop.
It's super potential, and it's definitely something I'm going to look forward to the beta release.
Cool.
Now, does bringing in a better weapon actually feel like it hedges your bet?
Yeah, you kidding me? I had one round where I went in fully stacked, and I had like a Kevlar helmet, night vision, like bulletproof vest, everything, and I was charging around like Rambo, and these bitches were running up with little pistols, like going poof, poof, and it's like poof, into my vest. I'm like, whatever, just nailing him with a sword.
So it does. You really feel like
yeah. But all it takes is like one headshot in the because when you got a helmet on, if you get hit in the side, it's okay, but if you get shot in the face, you're just dead. So all it takes is like you're killing these two guys, and another one's here, and he blindsides you and hits you with a shotgun or something, and you've lost all that gear.
so you just stand facing the wall and shoot backwards.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Just hunker down and
Crazy.
No, that's I'm definitely like if I have the chance, I'm definitely gonna check out a stream that you play that.
Yeah. Zeke, if you...
It's something I would never pick up because I'd be that asshole being like, fuck
No,
off!
that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to propose, Zeke. When the game comes out, me and you can run around with our knives and just call everyone assholes and see what we get up to.
We should just start an argument, me and you, in the middle of the fucking factory.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just for people to watch, like, what are those naked guys doing, arguing in the middle of this?
Yeah, sounds great.
Like, we're not even worth killing because we don't have anything.
Yeah.
Someone in chat there is asking if there's explosives. There's this one round I did where I was fully stacked and I even had grenades, and I bumped into I walked around, like killed like everyone in the map, and then I bumped into another guy doing the same thing as me, and we just had a standoff at the exit to the map. Like I shot him 3 times, he shot me a bunch of times. We both ducked into cover. We're like stimming and medding and fixing ourselves up. I throw a grenade at him, he runs, he shoots at me, he hits me, my gun jams, I fix a jam, I shoot him, he throws a grenade, I dodge the grenade. And it's like this intense firefight, like 2 Chuck Norrises just going head to head. And by the end of it, we were just like a meter apart, just blasting each other in their body armor until one of us passed out and died. It was super, super intense. So yeah, you got grenades in there and a whole gambit of like military weapons. Really
Did you win that?
Yeah.
I like... Yeah, I did. I won.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, always bet on sack.
We'll have our eyes on that.
You can have that.
For sure in the future. Well, I want to see what comes of that game. Co, what else you been playing besides Elite Dangerous in VR? You've got just a wide array of different type of games here. What have you been playing?
Yeah, I've been doing all this. It's kind of a dead time for me.
It is for a lot of people, yeah.
Kind of hit up games that I haven't had a chance to in a while. Just today, I finished all of The Forest.
Ooh.
And I got to admit, I was absolutely blown away by what I played.
Did you play it co-op or single player?
I played it single player from beginning to end. I started 4 or 5 days ago, and the goal was to just, make a base and then slowly work my way through the game. The last time I had played Forest, the end section wasn't in. You couldn't find the kid or do anything from that point on, but now you can do that. So there's a lot of stuff, like the scuba gear wasn't in when I was playing. The katana wasn't in when I was playing. The old pistol. Like there's a lot, just a huge amount to this game that wasn't in. But the most impressive part to me by far was the ending sequence. Like they went out of their way to make the ending sequence something not only like cool, but I mean it was an entire brand new area. It was not what I was expecting at all. They bring in all sorts of different sides to it. And then the very ending is like bad horror movie corny but incredible at the same time. And I don't want to get into it because now that this stuff's in there, it's if you're the kind of person that has played Force in the past and you're like, this is okay, go back and give it a try because it has become a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, I
I saw
saw
a video of it and it looked like it had a very Lost vibe towards the end.
Yes. In fact, that show was brought up a lot towards the end. In fact, yeah.
Okay.
Again, I don't want to get spoilery, but there's definitely a lot of predictability to the end, I think is a good way to say it. You can kind of see where it's going after there's like a few key notes you get in the last area where you're like, oh, and then something happens, with the kid or without the kid. You're just kind of like, oh, and I'm not, oh, and it's, yeah.
Is this a game that I would like, do you think? Because
Maybe.
you talk about building stuff, and I'm like,
You don't need to build anything, for the record.
You don't.
Completely skip the building aspect if you wanted to. You don't need to build anything. You have to craft some things, but you don't need to build anything. The one thing I will say, Zeke, is that this game is there's gates that you have to go through to get to the end. You have to have X item. You have to have visited X cave. You have to have the diving gear, the climbing pick, and stuff like that. And some of this stuff isn't super easy to get, especially if you don't have a bunch of torches and have a bunch of meds and have a bow and arrow with flaming arrows and Molotovs and pre-built explosives and dynamite. This game very much caters to the kind of person that wants to explore a large area and then utilize everything they've gotten to kind of move forward. At the same time, it's not horribly difficult. So it's the kind of thing where, if you get a decent axe and you understand how the healing mechanic works and you've fought, a few dudes and you kind of feel out how they're moving around, you could kind of breeze through this game, arguably. But if you're just going to face tank stuff like, oh, there's an enemy, let me just run up and hit him while he hits me until we die, that's going to kind of lead to problems. But I will say that I think you would enjoy it. I think that especially towards the end, when you start kind of seeing what's going on, it's very much kind of like this little mini discovery process, and it was very enjoyable.
Yeah, I watched Strippin and Bikeman and Krindor and Gmart were playing this co-op like last week or something like that. And it looked a lot of fun. They were spelunking together in a cave, and then they would all turn around and have like a fucking crazy tribal-looking carnivore standing right there. They'd all flip the fuck out. So I think if you wanted to play co-op, Zeke, it might be a better experience than...
It's up to 8-player co-op, and a lot of streamers are bringing in mods, that kind of thing. And when you're all doing the stuff together, it's really cool.
Does the game scale with each player that's added? There's more mobs.
I didn't dive too much into the multiplayer, so I'm not too sure. I played a little bit of co-op with Bikeman, and it was an absolute blast when we played. But it didn't really feel too much harder. So if there are scaling mechanics, I didn't notice them in the 2-player. It can go up to 8 though, so there may be something else there.
Co, do you know if this is the final release of the game, or are they still
it's alpha?
It's still alpha. Okay.
Not only is this game still alpha, but in its current, and I talked about this at the end of the stream, this is one of the first early access games that has really made it. This was one of those this was in the first kind of big wave of early access years ago. And when it was released, it was really buggy. It was a mess. There wasn't a lot to do. I'll never forget when I built my houseboat the first time and literally just sat there at a slow degree per second ratio turning in the water. And then if you went and got on one side of it, it would literally kind of center. And then the second it would get horizontal, it'd catapult you across the map. Literally just shoot you across the map.
It was great.
It was complete, it was just a mess back in the day. But now, not only does it all kind of work, and don't get me wrong, there's still bugs and there's still little things, it's alpha, but all that stuff that didn't work is fixed now. And when I built my base, everything on my base worked, and except a few key things, you could put rabbits in the thing but they wouldn't breed, and there's little things that are still missing, but overall the vision is there, and the amount of work that has gone in from what it was to what it is admirable. And this release that I played is better than many full release games I have paid money for that are done. So yeah, it was good.
I can't believe it sold 2.6 million copies. I thought this. I thought this flopped when it came out.
No, it's been in the top sales of Steam for a while. Yeah, it's always in the top seller list.
That's great.
Yeah, and
it has a really good trailer. I think
it's one of the better survival games. End of story. You think of the generic survival game, which there's a million of now. This is one of the better ones. It was also one of the first ones, so it's kind of got two things going for it.
Are you gonna check it out, Zeke?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's honestly one of the most reviewed games I've ever seen on Steam. And I looked at the release date, the original alpha, or early access release date. It was in 2014.
Yeah.
That's when I played it.
Yeah, that's when I remember seeing it. This is like one of Aaron's favorite games. I was like, why the fuck do you like this game? Like, what are your opinions? And she's like, you should at least look at it. It's like, okay. And this, after watching like Strip It and then play it last week, and I was playing through it single player. Zeke, if you want to do some co-oping, maybe we could do that in the future.
Dude, I'd love that.
It's also on sale right now for $10. That's pretty cool.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's why I was. It's like 33% off or whatever, right? I saw that last night.
And granted, I played a lot of it in alpha or in the older versions. I have 109 hours in that game.
Holy shit! What the fuck?
$10. I've done multiple full playthroughs. So whenever like a big patch would come out, I'd see everything the game has to offer and then stop. And this was the first time I've done that where there was actually an end to the game. So I just went all the way.
Fuck. 100+ hours. What in the world?
I've played 3 hours. Last played 30th of May 2014.
Granted, I played this game the day it was released. So, and then I probably played it 4 or 5 times as major patches came out from there. So
cool. Talk to me about Stonehearth. A lot of people were asking if you were going to talk about it. I have no idea what this is. It looks like a game that I would not play, though. So I want to.
Stonehearth. The look of Minecraft, plus the city management of Banished, a little bit of colony management like RimWorld with individual stats and stuff. This game came out of nowhere. The main thing that really turned me on to it was my buddy and a coalition streamer, Lima Zulu Tango. I saw him playing it, and it looked interesting because he was really diving into it. And then a couple days after that, I noticed Dan was playing it. And then a couple days after that, I noticed a few other streamers that I watch were playing it. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll check this game out. But I got to be honest, looks kind of simplistic. Graphics aren't really my thing. Not a big voxel guy. But I said I'll give it a stream. I'll give it a stream and I'll check it out. You know, a lot of people wanted me to play it. 12 4+ hour streams later, and multiple playthroughs. This game is pretty damn awesome. I was pretty surprised with it. There's some very deep mechanics. There's lots and lots of different things it can throw at you. There's kind of a mechanic where you can kind of control how many enemies come after your camp. There's lots of customization in terms of your city building. Lots of different things that can happen to your little colony. Lots of different ways to play it. It turned out being a lot of fun. And yeah, not only am I not like fully finished with it, I kind of got done with it to the point that I was, but I certainly could have done more. And it's still really early alpha. Like it does, like major classes aren't even in the game yet. The main story arc just stops. It doesn't even have a completion. And even with all that, it's still a lot of fun. There's multiple different biomes you can do. There's different tribes. There's different difficulty levels. And yeah, it's a damn good game. I had a really good time with it.
How much is it? Did you mention that?
I don't know. I will tell you.
I'll look it up. I just remember this game when I first heard about it. It's like, hey, it's Hearthstone, but not. It's Stonehearth. That's all. Yeah. That's all I remember it.
I heard more. Oh, it's $25 right now, and keep in mind it is not a finished product. It is early access.
Okay.
I put how many hours did I put into?
39.
I ended up putting in 33 hours. So for me, I would definitely say that's worth the value, especially since I plan on playing it again. For those asking in chat, I did do hard mode. I beat hard mode. I got all the way through hard mode, but it was difficult. My hard mode run, I definitely save scum. Because there was some times where it just literally threw more at you than you could possibly handle. But I think that it had to do a lot with alpha. But yeah,
has it got that RimWorld RNG?
Yeah, there is a little bit of RNG. Like there gets to a point where you're kind of working with this amorphous kind of enemy, that kind of frequently will come into the map, but is never on the map. And it's this kind of goblin/orc horde. And one of the things that happens is you can build these gongs. And as you build the gongs, it will determine like what type of enemies will attack your camp. And what I didn't understand in my hard mode playthrough until the end is if you leave the other ones up, you can be like doing a hard encounter and a medium encounter will spawn. So it's like all of a sudden you're dealing with way more than you are even capable of dealing with. And then a light encounter may come in like 2 seconds after that. So yeah, it became kind of a mess.
That's why I've heard of this game.
That's how it was done. But anyway. Oh, what was that?
This is the game that Riot Games bought the studio for.
Yes.
That's why I remember this thing. And it's also the developers of Rising Thunder, which was the
Red Orchestra.
Do what?
Is that the Red Orchestra game?
No, it's a fighting game. It was like the simplified fighting game, basically, where there was like 3 buttons or something in that game. It would like do combos and things like that. And so yeah, Are they still working on this now that Riot has
Oh, yeah.
purchased them? They are? Okay.
As far as I know, it is an early access product on Steam. If you go to Steam, they tell you all about all the stuff that's coming and what's there and stuff like that. So, if it's canceled or changed or anything like that, they haven't been public about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Another thing that I really liked about this game that I didn't really get to dive into is, like, you can see all the houses and stuff in my town, which those are cool. You can put down pre-built houses. Your little guys assemble them literally piece by piece. Like, they build scaffolding and drop all this stuff down. But what's really kind of fun about this is every single house in the game is a blueprint. And not only can you change and edit everything that's there, but you can build your own blueprints from scratch. And the building, especially when you start doing bigger stuff, is a little bit buggy, which is one of the reasons I didn't dive into it. But I have seen some incredible builds that people have done in this game. Like, you can literally build a castle. You can just build a castle, and you can put up spires and put your archers on the top and build traps and put them all over it and have different rooms in your castle and have different purposes. Like, you can go as far as you want in this game. Or you can just use all the pre-built stuff and have just as good of a time.
When you say you can build a castle, you mean Minecraft style? You build the blocks, or do you mean?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Every single block can be placeable, but it's all done. It's not really every single block. Like, you can select. The way that it works is there's like this little house picture, and you can click on like the foundation, the walls, the windows, the doors, the floor, the roof, and all that stuff. And as you click on them, it will let you then pick what material you want to make it out of, and then you can like drag out the floor. And then you can click the wall icon, and then it will put walls on it. And then you can click the floor icon, and it will put a floor. And then you can click the stair icon and put stairs in, and then another wall, and then a roof. And then you can build another structure next to it and connect it with a walkway and make a moat, and then put a bridge over it. Like, you can really, there's a lot of creativity you can do if you want to. And some of it is actually viable. Like, you can do some pretty crazy stuff that will give your guys a real advantage. Like, for instance, you can build a causeway and then have most of your town sit above that on a different level, and then force all the enemies to go through that and line it with traps and turrets and stuff like that. So you can
that
dig
sounds
right
cool.
into the mountain and build a vault if you wanted to do that, or dig into the ground and build it underground. It's really however you want to do it.
Seems I would never play this type of game, but it seems the type of like, you just pulled up that guy, you clicked on a single person, and then you can assign them all jobs, right?
Yes.
You do that for every citizen of your village?
Every single citizen. You can
Holy shit, okay.
Yeah. And then each citizen not only has stats, but then you can assign them jobs. And if they're assigned a combat role, they can have helmet, armor, weapon, in some cases alternate. And then you have to make those with your crafters and make sure they have the right things. And, you can just kind of keep going from there. You can have different types of fighters. So you can have like knights, footmen, archers, clerics. Different numbers of different things have different effects. And I still haven't found the optimals in any of those. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I had a really good time with it.
Can you name them? Name the citizens? Or are they stuck with
absolutely.
the name?
Yep. Yes. Okay. We have an in-channel system where subs can type !pool, and then I can run a command and it will randomly pull a name out of the pool. So every one of my cities was just a fleet of subs. And of course, they can do ridiculous things like get caught out in the open and killed, or run out and some AI bug will happen. So it's always fun to be yelling at an actual sub when something goes horribly wrong. Like in RimWorld, Sacril, I'm sure you're used to that too. But yeah, added a great new level to it.
Huh.
I think I'm gonna check it out now that you've. I was waiting for to speak to someone that played it, and I think I'm gonna give it a blast.
Everyone that's touched it, Anne played the fuck out of this game. Dan played the fuck out of this game. Co's now played a lot of it. Like, it comes highly. What did you just go in? Did you go underground?
Oh yeah. You can split. You can open up houses. You can split the world. You can X-ray. You can do all sorts of things.
Oh shit!
That down there was my mine, which I was building. So like I dug a giant pit, and then when I hit rock, I started going out, and there's iron and gold and copper, and you have to sell tin and bronze and steel.
So the houses you got there, are they prefab?
No, those houses I actually built myself, because one of the things is to
design what your houses look like, and then to save that, you can just build a bunch of them.
Exactly. You can save blueprints, then connect them, edit them, do that kind of thing. So like that's a pre-built right there. You can see that's a 2-floor pre-built. But what's interesting about this game is every night there's a set of requirements. Food. Oh God, I can't remember now. It's like town worth, and something else. I don't remember what the last one is. But if your town meets those requirements, then you get a new person the next day. So one of the things that you'd want to do, for instance, is like with the housing, the default house is just like a house with a bed. But then you can edit that blueprint, and you can make all the materials more expensive. You can add in a table and a chair so they have a place to eat. You can put on blue flags. You can put down, like a rug, tapestry over the walls, curtains. You can make the house worth a lot more. And it'll take a lot more to build, but then it will add to your town worth. So then that will get you more people later. So there's like all these little.
So as you upgrade it, like
morale. That's right, morale. Yeah.
So as you upgrade it, the cost goes up. So like a default house might be like 20 stone, but if you add loads of stuff, it's like 30 stone.
Absolutely. And there's also a fine crafting system where fine items, you can say take a wooden diamond door frame. Well, you randomly have a chance when making that to proc a fine version of it. And those are worth more. So you can make a blueprint with like 3 fine window frames. But if you don't have any, then you have to tell your carpenter, make 10 normal ones and hopefully you won't suck. And you'll make some fine ones. But if they don't, then you have to make 10 more and like stuff like that. And that will increase the value of the houses.
Super cool. Oh, okay, I'm definitely going to try it.
Yeah, I'd love to see you play this game, man. It's basically Banished plus RimWorld simplified. Like there's no question that it's a little bit simpler than the other kind of city management games. But at the same time, there's some elegance to the simplicity in a lot of ways. So,
Cool.
a lot of fun.
Anything else?
Let's see. Forest, Stonehearth, been playing a lot more Rainbow Six. Keep going back to that game, man. Keep going back to that game.
Are they adding new people to that soon? They just added the Japanese people, right? And then
they added the Japanese people recently. They've already announced like a whole season 2 and a bunch of new maps coming out. They did recently release a pretty big patch where they fixed a lot of the stuff that was wrong. Like for instance, this recent patch, JP. Now when you break a window, there's no chance a piece of wood will get stuck in it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that has been one of the most annoying bugs.
Yeah, where you can't see through it.
Because the worst part is it's client side.
Yeah.
So you can walk up to a window and punch it. And on your screen, all the pieces of wood will stay there.
Yeah.
But on the person looking through the window stream, they all fell out. So they're just looking at you, looking at nothing. And you're just standing there
it's really annoying. It's even as someone who only plays glass on attack, it's even more annoying because you put 3 holes in a window, it goes away, and then there's just a giant piece of wood right there, and you're like, great, fantastic. I can't see shit. So you have to go to another window.
Yeah. And they're still working on balancing, still fixing a lot of those little bugs. I think they did more to address the desyncing between like replays and highlights. It's making progress. It's making progress, man. I love to see the game get as much love and work that it has been, because they're still just pushing the game forward. So
cool.
That's one of the reasons I keep playing it. Have a good time with it.
Cool. Just real quick, I played through Hitman finally, so I could talk about that.
How'd you like that?
That game's really fucking good.
Right?
It's just delightful.
Now, tell me something. JP, did you play levels multiple times? Or just
No. And the reason is because I decided that I was going to start playing Mass Effect, and that's going to take a long time. So I just basically did all the stories, got all the main kills. But I discovered that I'm either one really good at Hitman, or the game's really good at making you feel like you're really good at Hitman. It's one of the two. Because the guy that you're supposed to enter, in Morocco, the first guy where you interview him, you can interview him as the photographer or whatever, as the cameraman.
Yeah.
So I walked into the room, I went behind the thing, and I just lobbed a proximity mine across the cover and then walked out and killed him. And I only saw him for like 5 seconds. And that's kind of how I approached the entirety of the game, was just run and gun bullshit like that. And it was super, super fun playing arcadey bullshit like that. The other way that you could play the game is very sneakily. I was not into that. So I would just do the dumbest shit possible, and it somehow always worked out. And I think that might just be how the game is. But yeah, fantastic fucking game. I can't wait for season 2.
How many times did you have like moments where you're like, oh shit, that worked?
The entire game. The entire game. There is a particular, and maybe it's
just walk up, shoot a guy, and you're like, fuck, I'm out.
Yeah, it might be, let's see. It might be in the second playthrough. Like, I got a sniper rifle, or put one in the map in one of the areas that you can go to pick up items. One of the, like, I forgot what the fucking, whatever they're called. But you basically can put an item in the map, and then you can go and collect it. And so.
Oh, yeah, the drops, yeah.
The drops, yeah. And so that's what I did, is I went up here, decided that I was going to try to shoot this guy with the sniper rifle, missed the first shot, even though I thought I killed him. And then he like ran over here, and I had like a I don't know, like a 2 feet window to pull the shot off. It killed him, and I was like, oh, all right, good. We're done. All right, we're good. That's great. And we just move on to the next guy. And it's a lot of fun. I will probably do some of the escalation missions off stream because I had so much fun playing it.
Escalations, honestly, they get really fun but really frustrating, but really fun. And if you play it the same way that I think you're going to play it, similar to my style, you try and find the fastest route.
Yes, 100%.
Thing. It's like, okay, go kill that guy and escape. Got it. Kill that guy, grab this thing, then escape. And you're like, okay, I got the route. And you go,
yeah.
And then you come up against the wall where you're like, I have to fucking sneak now.
There was definitely a lot of that. The level where you kill the actor that you ran through and punched the guy. Remember we were talking about that? So
the actor, I just ran up and broke his neck in front of everybody that was shooting the film and then ran out.
because of your inspiration of doing that, on that level, I was like, oh, this is that level where Zeke did that. I'm going to try to do that. So I sneaked on the left. It took like 10 or 15 tries to actually. Now, here's where I got the sniper shot on the guy, which is complete bullshit. I tried to do exactly what you did. I snuck behind, I kept trying. And then finally on the last time.
No, hold on. You started off wrong. I didn't sneak at all.
Well, I'm sorry. I ran. I would just start running. Yeah.
Yeah, I ran from the start to the target, broke his neck, ran off the map.
So I did that, but I went on the left-hand side and went behind everyone. And then he right after the first stunt that he does, he's like on a little pad back there. And you just walk up and I snapped his neck. And then I just left. And I was never seen. And so I had like 140,000 points or something on that level because I never got seen. I just went up there, snapped his neck, and then left. And like everyone is like freaking the fuck out. And I'm just walking through like this, which is fun. I had a lot of fun playing that game. It's a fantastic fucking game. We need to do elusive targets, by the way. We need to stream those together or be on a call together or something like that and do the elusive targets every week because I tried to do the elusive target and it did not go well at all. And I
give away your position like right away and they're like, he escaped, you're fucked.
Yeah, I immediately died.
You died? Okay.
Yeah, I got really excited by the proximity mine thing. So I tried to lob it over, and like the fucking, I don't know, the bartender guy looks at me and goes, what are you doing? And like, everyone gets notified, and I'm like, fuck. I just get shot to death.
That's why you always, always, always carry Mr. Crowbar with you.
Dude,
what are you doing? Nothing. Pow!
Dude, at one point in the game, I had like 7 soda cans, like 8 bricks, and I would just walk through, and if there was a guy that had a ton of security, I'd kill the guy, get behind a corner, and then just start lobbing bricks at people. And like a pile of bodies would form. It was so fun.
Dude, the Hitman has like the arm and aim of fucking Randy Johnson. Pow!
Joe Montana
one brick,
himself.
One crowbar to the face, out. Every single time. And square on the nose every fucking time.
It's great, man. I had an absolute blast playing that game. I'm trying to find, was it towards the end here? Oh, that's the mission that I actually had the most trouble with. I'm trying to find the actor one. I'll have to find it later. But yeah, fantastic game. Hitman's great. I should not have waited that long to play it. And we need to do the elusive targets. All three of us. If Co's down to do it, we should do those. Because I think they start on Mondays, and it's 48 hours or 47 hours to kill them.
Wait a second. How long do elusive targets take?
It's like a 30-minute thing. It would be like a 30-minute segment.
We should totally do. All of us start at the same time.
Yeah.
All stream it and we broadcast it during.
Totally, I'm totally down to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, during drop frames?
Yes.
We could, yeah.
We could get like an overlay set up, like Co, Zeke, and JP. We all start at like in the same minute. We could just talk while we're doing it. Don't even need to have cams. We can just send JP our game footage via Skype. And
that might work.
That up there.
But what days does the elusive target go to?
I think it's Monday to Friday. I'll have to look.
People in chat saying it's a race. Elusive target is not a race. It's a who gets it done.
Who can actually do it? Yeah.
It'll be amazing if any of us could do it, let alone 2 of us.
Yeah. Sakura, do you understand what we're saying when we mention the elusive target? Do you know what that is?
This is all gibberish to me.
Okay, so in Hitman, every week the developers create a target, a person that you need to kill, right, in a random map.
Didn't
And
they do a celebrity one recently or something?
yeah,
Gary
yeah.
Busey. There was
Gary
Gary
Busey,
Christmas.
yeah.
There
That's
was
what that
Wet
was.
Bandits from Home Alone.
So it's basically they make this like specially tailored mission once a week. You start it, they tell you they tell you pretty good information about who you're supposed to kill, but you can't see him on your map. You literally have to go and find this guy, and you only get one try. So if you die, you can never try it again.
That's the catch, Sacriel.
Yeah.
If you mess up the mission, you never get to try it again.
Never, like
So you
ever.
spawn in a mission.
One
and
try
there's
per
NPCs.
purchased copy of Hitman.
Yeah. And
What?
It's a really, really cool
and
concept.
there's lots of these targets, right?
Once every
No,
week.
Well, the elusive target is a mission, and then there's usually one target in the mission, I
Yeah.
believe.
But you just
and
said
then
that you
those are
do this-
released every month or couple weeks or something.
Something
Can
like
you
that.
just say you do this for like 10 hours or something? Or she says sometimes you'd stream it
No,
during.
no, there's escalation. That's different. Escalation is
Okay.
when you like do different things with different weapons, and then you get like a new target when you kill one, and it like keeps going.
Okay,
That's the thing about Hitman. Because it was episodic, they did all this stuff that's not normally in Hitman to kind of increase or entice players to keep playing the same maps over and over. So there's all these new game modes and new types of things to do and different ways to kill them, and it's designed to play a bunch of different ways. So that all kind of plays in.
But this targets thing is literally you spawn in this map, and if you get shot or you shoot at them and miss, and he runs off the map or something, that's it.
That's
You're
it.
done.
It's over. Yeah.
You're done.
And they're a lot harder because all of the that's one of my favorite kills. All of the
I did that exact same thing, by the way, JP.
it's really good. And then I killed his guard because fuck it.
Because
But
why not?
they're all like the story is not that hard. You can kind of follow opportunities basically when you go into the story, and it will.
You can turn those off for the record.
You can, yeah, and you can follow them around, and it's not too difficult. But the elusive targets, all the guards around them are like super fucking beefed up, and the AI is really smart. So if you somehow mess up or get noticed at all, you're pretty much going to die if you get into an encounter. You can't just go and run and gun it against these people. You have to either like poison something that they're drinking, and then they'll go to the restroom, and then you can kill them there, or hit them with the sniper rifle shot across the map, or different shit like that. Like if you haven't played Hitman,
Or
it's
trick him into going into the sauna, then lock the door and turn the heat up to boiling.
yeah, like there's a lot of fun shit like that.
I used to be a huge fan of the Hitman. Like the original one, what was it? Codename 42? Was it 42?
Yeah,
I
something
think
like
we're
that.
just saying 47. 47, I think. But yeah,
47.
Agent 47, I think, yeah. So those one
this is-
observation I used to have with that game was
Yeah, I'm trying to find the run.
you start off as a hitman. So your mission is like assassinate this guy. So you like go in the restaurant before he comes for his meeting, and you hide a pistol in the sink in like in the bathroom, and then you come in and you pretend to be someone else, and you assassinate this guy and you escape and all this, and it felt like a hitman. But then by the end of the game, the last mission of the first game, you're running around an underground lab fighting hundreds of clones of yourself with a minigun. And it's like, where did all the Hitman stuff go? Like, you went from this like cool, take out this mafia boss Hitman to just like running around forests with an M16 shooting hundreds of soldiers, and it just became really chaotic. So I'm glad they've gone back to their roots of actual missions where you feel like you're trying to do something particularly Hitman-ish, rather than the rest of the games. They start off Hitman, and by the end, it's just like Call of Duty, it's running around gunning everything down.
This is the only Hitman game I've ever played, and I don't even care to go back to play the other ones because this one it's fucking amazing because
It's really good.
You can go in gung ho. You can do all that shit. You can take a fucking huge rifle and just and shoot everybody if you want. But there's opportunities in every single mission that you get. 10 different ways to complete the task. Drop lights, choke them out, drown them in the toilet, that kind of shit. Or you can just play it straight and just walk up, pow, and run out. Like,
And
awesome.
what's even cooler to add to what Zeke's saying is if you get invested in the multiplayer aspect of it, and I don't mean multiplayer multiple people, I mean multiplayer like playing the same maps over and over, those points that you get at the end for doing things in different ways and really taking your time with the levels, those will unlock not only new things to do in the levels, but new equipment, new things you can do, new drops, new drop locations, missions inside. Like there's a lot of content in this game if you kind of buy into that multi design thing. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
There's people that have dumped hundreds of hours over the episodes into this game, and they're still playing it. Some of them.
Yeah, like this type of stuff is so fun to do. When you're just like sneaking around, you gotta kill this guy, so you just Well, the clip's gonna lag now, but you just shut the door, then you fucking throw an axe right at his head, and then just walk away. I don't understand. I guess clips are lagging or something right now.
All VODs apparently are lagging.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sucks. Yeah.
Now keep in mind, he's 3.5 feet from this dude. He could have just taken the axe and hit him, but instead, at 3 feet, chucked that shit into the back of his head.
It's great. It's so great. I'm trying to find some of the other funny ones.
Still one of my, I mean, like 3 of my top 10 clips of 2016 came from Hitman.
Yeah.
Just random things happening, like crouching behind a thing. And I'm like, don't see me, don't see me, don't see me. And the guy you target looks at you, goes, what the fuck? And he throws his face and just like, and it cuts him off. What the bang?
Yeah, it's great.
One of my favorite highlights, I put it in the chat in Zoom, was day 9 when he's trying to do a stealth run and he goes up to a door. And I think the same button for open door is punch people in the face. So he goes up to a door and he goes to press the button. And as he presses it, the door opens anyway and someone else is there. So he just smacks the person in the face. And he just finds it so funny. He laughs for about 2 minutes and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I love those moments. There's so many of those moments.
This happened right here. It's one of those moments where I had never done this, so I didn't know. You got to kill these 2 people right here, and I eventually kill them in just a sec. But the clip's fucking lagging now. And
This part.
And you have to do you have to shoot who you're supposed to shoot in here. These dummies is like a training thing. And I just completely fuck it up because I'm like trying to throw a wrench at it. I accidentally throw the wrench to the guy to the right of me, and I'm like, fuck, I'm so dead. I'm so dead. But then the best part is the next load. As I'm doing this, I go up, kill all the dummies, and they're like, we're going to reset it. And the 2 targets walk together. I like walk behind the wall, throw a proximity mine, and then just jog off and then explode. And I get a double kill. I'm like, it's the best game. It's so good.
Tell me something, JP. Did you do that part correctly?
No, that's where I proximity mined them. I killed them. I didn't smash them.
Dude, you literally trick the person to walking in front of that device that simulates the car crash.
Yeah.
And she's just like, okay, that was good. And she just, boom, and she just slams into the side. And the best part is it doesn't aggro you. So what do? You just walk away.
Oh, that was strange.
There's only one
good.
person next to the button that triggers that, but the other 2 guys are so like concerned about it. You just
It's pretty good.
I'll call the medic.
This was my first kill because I didn't have very much experience in the game, and like that guy starts noticing you, and that's who you're supposed to kill. So I just walk up and take care of him with my
suspense.
Yeah, walk up, take care of him with my gun, and then just walk away. And
It's like Roadhouse from Family Guy. It's just like Hitman.
Yeah, no one notices. It's great. It's great. That game is absolutely fantastic, and we should totally talk about we should figure out the elusive target stuff and then play that because it's good. It's good. We should do that. And then I started my Mass Effect playthrough, which everyone's played Mass Effect. Mass Effect 1 is really slow. I didn't realize how slow it was until I got to Mass Effect 2. And then I'm like, oh shit, Mass Effect 2 is actually like...
You already finished Mass Effect 1?
I rushed the fuck through it. I did on easy because I had played through it before. Mass Effect 1 is the only one I've beaten. So I didn't do any DLC. I didn't do any side stories. I literally started at point A at the beginning and went all the way to point B at the end in one straight go. I think it took 9 hours to get through it. I was just walking around with my shotgun, like one-shotting everyone. Because I want to get to Mass Effect 2 sooner, because I've never played it. And then you start the game and you're like, oh, this is a billion times fucking better. It's so much better. The combat in that game is so much better than 1. And the story is so much better too. So I'll be doing all the DLC and stuff for that, which is fun. And then I got to play Mass Effect 3, which I've heard is all right. I don't know. I don't have any experience.
Mass Effect 3 is great. Ending is debates.
Yeah.
Debates
Okay.
for days.
All right. Well, I'm sure I'll have opinions about that in the future, but we're 5 minutes past, so let's do some shout outs. We'll get out of here. Zeke, you want to start us off?
Sure. What's up, everybody? Ezekiel the Third here. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Ezekiel_II. I want to thank my boy Sacriel for being here. Sacriel for being here today. Always, seriously, whenever you talk, man, it's just such a calming event. And I'm like, I really want to listen. I feel like I have to learn something. But also thanks, of course, to CohhCarnage and itmeJP for being co-hosts. And 90th episode, 10 more, and then we're done. Done forever.
Yeah.
I will be streaming after this. After the show is done, at the top of the next hour, I will be delving back into Darkest Dungeon because I really want to beat it, and I don't have anything else I really desire to play right now. So until the 24th, when RE7 comes out, then I'll play that on the PSVR. I can't wait. If you want to check me out, I'll be here. I'll be live in about 45 minutes. So that's it. That's all I got.
Good stuff. Co, some shout outs, sir.
Sure. Big thank you to Sacriel. Always a pleasure doing anything with him. Absolute gentleman. Zeke and JP, thank you as well. Always fun. And chat, thank you for watching. My name is Ko. You can find me at twitch.tv/CohhCarnage. Friday streamer, all that good stuff. Tomorrow, we have a very special beginning. We are beginning a franchise tomorrow that we're going to be playing that many of you know about. Many of you probably have never heard of, but we would love to see you there. Starting at 8 a.m. EST tomorrow, we begin the Stalker franchise. We'll be starting with Shadows of Chernobyl, going into Clear Sky, and then going into Call of Pripyat. We're going to be using the complete mods and some other viewer-suggested mods. And again, if you've never heard of this franchise, definitely stop by and check it out. It is an experience. Anyway, thank you guys for watching as always, and see you next week. At least 10 more times.
Yeah, several times. Are you gonna mod Stalker? Or are you playing completely stock?
I'm modding it to the stock R. Yes, I'm modding it to the point where it brings it up to current day. So we're doing like complete packs that do graphic overhauls, things like that. No gameplay mods though. All the gameplay is going to be vanilla. We're retaining the experience. I don't have any Stalker playthroughs on my YouTube, so I want to get them up kind of in their vanilla format. So
what kind of a game is Stalker?
Stalker is a first-person semi-open world story-based shooter.
Yeah, it's an odd game.
It is a very
That's an adjective that I really like though.
It's one of those, it's definitely a sleeper hit. Like not a huge amount of people know about it, but there are people that are diehards in love with it. Me being one of them. It is one of my favorite franchises. It's kind of Metro-y. If you've played and liked Metro, Stalker is arguably gameplay-wise kind of, there's a lot of Stalker in Metro.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What were you saying, Sacro?
I was just saying it's like a cult classic. Like when I play Tarkov, most people are like, oh my God, it's just like Stalker, because it's that same kind of post-apocalyptic Russian it's sneak around with machine guns kind of thing.
And what's also really cool, and Zeke, you might actually like this, it's if you've ever heard of Chernobyl, it's all based around Chernobyl, which was a giant Russian nuclear event that destroyed this area. And Stalker is an alternate reality look on what would happen if that radiation mutated things and caused crazy artifacts and anomalies and all sorts of sci-fi shit. And you basically get dropped in the middle of it.
It came out in like it was like 2007,
2000s, yeah, mid to late 2000s. I think 2007.
No, it's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Which kind of dates people.
But there's complete mods out and stuff that kind of bring it up to,
dude.
Cool.
Mass Effect 2 with all the fucking add-ons looks like a modern day game. It looks fucking great.
Wait until 3, man.
It gets better.
You play 3 and you're like, this could have come out recently. Like it looks good. They all look. Even with the graphic mods, one looked decent. I don't know if you got the mods.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Yeah. The only thing I will say is it fucking God. We'll talk about this next week a little bit. EA fucking sucks when it comes to Origin and modding Mass Effect, and also buying all the goddamn deal. I spent $40 on DLC for Mass Effect 2 because they won't reduce the prices and you have to buy BioWare points.
You know why, JP?
Fucking ridiculous.
Because we keep buying it.
I know, it's fucking ridiculous.
I did the same thing when I did my Mass Effect playthroughs. I did the exact same thing. I bought the game for like $20 discount and then spent.
I got it for free.
Yeah, and then I spent like $60 on DLC.
Yeah.
Why does a cup of coffee cost $5? Because you'll pay it, dipshit.
Exactly. It's
There's
fucking
nowhere
ridiculous.
else to get it now. That's it.
And
you want the DLC, you have to get it through Origin.
Yeah. Dude, to mod Mass Effect 2, you have to like go in, extract all the DLC files, analyze all the DLC files, then find the textures to analyze against those files that you downloaded, then apply them. It took like 6 hours to fully like mod it. It's fucking insane. It was
for the next time you play Mass Effect 2, there's a program you can download that does all that for you.
That's only for Mass Effect 1. I was told it doesn't exist.
It's definitely for 2.
Okay. Well, I was told it wasn't. Which one did you use? Because I'm using a lot of textures.
Dude, I had to use a walkthrough. But there was a couple walkthroughs that were like, okay, unpack everything to here, run this batch file, run this exe,
I mean, that's basically what I
three
did.
and a half hours,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
run this to compile it all back, and that was it. But
Yeah, I'm
it-
using the
it was
mod.
easy, but it was a mess.
Yeah,
It
the
was
mod
no
I'm
question.
using is a lot of textures, is what it's called. It's like
Oh.
every texture mod pack for the game. It's like 7 gigs or some crazy shit. So
We're going through. Well, never mind.
we'll talk about it next week. Zachary will do some shout outs.
Hello, everybody. My name's Sakri. I'm putting on the British accent to try and win some viewers here. No, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. It's an absolute honor to be on stage with these beautiful people. So thank you for having me. Love the show. So I'm going to be playing maybe actually Stonehearth now that Coh's
Nice.
it for me. So because I'm a big RimWorld fan, but I've played like 50 billion hours of RimWorld, and RimWorld just came out with a massive patch, which is actually super cool that I should check out. But I'm probably going to check out Stonehearth this week because I've been playing a hell of a lot of DayZ these last few weeks, and I don't want to kill myself by playing anymore. So I'm going to check out Stonehearth. I might play a little bit of Tarkov if there's any new updates, if they change the economy stuff, so it's a bit more streamer friendly. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on, and I will see you beautiful people next time. You can find me at twitch.tv/Sacriel or Sacriel42 on the YouTubes and the Twitters.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming on. I know it's like
Thank you.
midnight. Is it? No, it's like 2 a.m. over there, right?
Like 1:15. It's 1:15, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's late. So I appreciate you coming on. By the way, the next elusive target for Hitman starts this Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific and goes for 7 days. It's in Colorado. You can't kill the target, or sorry, you have to eliminate the target with a non-explosion accident. And you have to retrieve documents as well. So if you guys want to do that, we might have to set it up. We'll have to figure it out off stream, but we'll see. Regardless, we'll be back next week.
If it's in Colorado, man, I'll just fucking smoke him up and
Yeah. Colorado was one of the hardest ones for me.
A non-explosive accident's real easy in Colorado. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I did dump one of them into the swamp there. I forgot about that, but we'll figure it out if we're going to do something like that and let you guys know. And we'll be back next week for episode 91 of Drop Frames. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.